What do you see out of him?
I want to continue to see him improve. He went through some drills today. We still want to limit him as far as him shooting the ball. He still can't straighten it out all the way. But he's out there participating in some defensive drills. And, hopefully he'll continue to make improvements over the next 2 days. He's going to come back in for a second treatment tonight and try to get a few shots up. And then hopefully, he'll be able to do a little bit more tomorrow. My big thing for Scotty is to have him available for the game on Saturday. So that means holding him out tomorrow and, giving him the best chance to go out there and give us big minutes on Saturday. Then we'll do that.
What about Jake?
Jake did not do very much in practice either. He's still suffering some effects of the cramps that he had against Northern, and he told me he'll be ready to go.
How hard was it playing against NIU with only 6 scholarship players available?
It was a tough game. We found a way. You had to find a way to grind games out like that over the course of the year. They're not all going to go exactly how you expect them. They're not going to go exactly how everything's planned. But what kept us in that game was our defensive pressure and our defensive intensity. And that's happened a few times this year. That's got to be the one constant for us. Every game we come out and play is, we've got to come out and give that energy to the defensive end of the floor. There's nights where the ball doesn't go in the basket. I know that from my experience as a player. Obviously now as a coach, you're going to have nights you get great looks, but the ball just doesn't find the basket. But what keeps you in games is your energy and your defense, and that certainly was the case the other night against Northern Illinois.
As a player, is it difficult to kind of keep up that defensive intensity, knowing you can't foul, no touching, stuff like that? Got to keep the feel on the floor.
I was confident that we told our guys to play smart. I got a little nervous when Deontay picked up his fourth with 5 minutes left. He had really started to find his rhythm. After having a tough first half and a tough couple of first minutes in the second half with his offense, his defense was phenomenal. He was the key for us. He basically played a one-man zone. Their point guard was not a shooter, not a scorer, so he was the one that was plugging gaps when Silas got the ball. Jake did a great job on him individually, but collectively as a team, it started with Deontay. We did a really good job on him. When Deontay picked up that fourth, after finding his rhythm, I was a little nervous, but the other guys stepped it up and played great.
What is Scotty's range right now for shooting?
Right now it's about 15 feet. He got out there today and shot a couple, and I noticed him rubbing his elbow a little bit. And I told him to not shoot. If it's going to hurt you, there's no sense in going out and shooting it now. But for 15 feet, he looked more comfortable today than he did yesterday. And like I said, hopefully with treatments the next 2 days, he can continue to get more swelling out of that elbow. He'll be able to play for us on Saturday.
Did he fall on it, or what? How did he injure it?
Initially, he fell on it, which gave him a pretty significant bruise. Played through it, was okay, and then the day after the Virginia game, he heard a little bit shoot around. He said he felt something move in there, and what happened, I think, is it's an inflamed capsule. Is kind of what our trainer Vic told us. Then it just swelled up on him that next morning, and he came in here. So I think it was initially the bruise that caused that injury.
How important will the outside shooting, the perimeter shooting be?
Well, Nebraska's as good a defensive team as anybody in the nation. I think their last 4 opponents have been held under 50. Their 10-game winning streak, I don't think anybody scored over 60. It'd be similar to Virginia as far as those guys making us uncomfortable. We just need to do a good job with ball movement. Try to get some transition baskets. Try to get baskets before the defense gets set. It's important to try to get that done against a team that's as sound defensively as they are.
Is this team, your team, where you hope they would be going into conference play?
I'm happy with where we are. It's just going to be, for us, we went for an hour today. Probably had a few more things I would have liked to work on, do a few more things live, but with where we are right now, from a health standpoint, we're not able to do some of those things. I'm happy with where we are. 13-2 going into conference play. Guys are playing with a tremendous amount of confidence, and we need to continue to do that, but even take a step up. If we want to accomplish our goals and do what we want to do, you got to take it up to the next level.
Is there any special feelings about going to Lincoln, given you're born there and some of the family history, or is that just another trip?
It is a special game for me. 30-plus family members there. My parents both went to Nebraska. My grandfather coached there for 9 years back in the 50s and 60s, and that's where I was born. And I'm very excited about going back there, walking the sidelines, where my grandfather coached a long time ago.
Are you worried that these guys aren't ready just based on the schedule they played, or do you think that based on the non-conference that they're ready for the kind of raise the stakes a little bit with the bigger bodies and everything?
Our guys are ready. You know, they've shown all year they're going to come out and compete and play hard. You know, we took care of what we had to do. You know, this preseason, we still had a chance. You know, I dwell on the losses. You know, I think we had a chance to go 15-0. You know, but we didn't. You know, we lost those 2 games. We learned from it. We got better, and you know, we continue to improve. And that's the great thing about this team.
Do you ever look at your roster and say, with this size, I mean, how am I going to do this within the Big 12?
Well, you know, I've talked about it since the very first day. You know, I've talked about rebounding as being something we need to do collectively as a team. You know, the one thing last game, it was the one negative was the fact they got 19 offensive rebounds against us. And you know, against this team, against Nebraska, they got 2 7-footers that they throw out there. They're big and physical and strong. And you know, if we don't get a body on them, it's going to be a long night for us. So you know, we went and watched some film on that today. We talked about it a lot. It's got to be everybody. You know, it's not just the bigs. When they're forced to help on penetration, guards got to get in there and put a body on a guy. And it's got to be a collective effort.
Is Jordan's suspension, is it 2 games no matter what, or could that change if the charges brought against him?
Yeah, you know, like I said, you know, we're still gathering information on it. You know, at the time, you know, we feel it's an appropriate suspension.
How much extra emphasis, if at any, do you put on staying healthy, considering how thin the roster is at this point?
That's my number 1 thing right now, is staying healthy. You know, we're at a point right now where, you know, our guys have played a ton of minutes. I feel their conditioning is where it needs to be. We might do some extra conditioning at the end of practice, but we don't do a lot of it live. You know, we're not going up and down a lot right now, just because we need to try to stay as fresh as possible for the games. I mean, we're playing 6, sometimes 7. Rarely do we get 8 guys in the game. So, you know, my number 1 thing is to keep these guys fresh for the games.
How the walk-ons doing so far? Now that they're a couple days into it.
You know, they haven't done a lot live with us yet. You know, they've been great. You know, they come in here, they work extra before practice. They come in or stay after, work after. And you know, they're great kids, hard workers. You know, exactly what Paul Wood said they do.
Are they like throwing up in the trash can over to the side, or did they get their legs yet?
Yeah, they're doing better. You know, the first day especially, you know, we worked them out individually. They were strong a little bit. They were hurt, but you know, especially Austin said he's been playing every day, which is great. So he's a pretty decent basketball shape. Drew's got a little ways to go.
I'm guessing you'd like to bring him in.
That's correct.
Was there any thought to a more thorough tryout, or?
Not at this point.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully we'll get Scott back. Hopefully Jake will be able to go. You know, if it ever does get to that point, now we'll cross that bridge.
Thanks, Coach.